Morning, it's Monday. There's Mimi back there. Oh, you just missed her. She's here. She's opening the blinds. She's getting ready to leave. And I'm gonna try, there she went again. There she,
Hey there.
try and show her to you before she left. There she is.
Hey
She's getting ready to drive to Arizona.
Happy Monday.
She was here, she's leaving. I think she'll be back.
April 1st, baby.
Yeah, in April
1st.
for my brother's
Come on. You want
and his wife's baby
Ethel, you
shower.
wanna be on the camera, baby? You wanna
She
see
wants
me?
to show you Ethel.
Come here. Come on.
Hold on.
Said she
Ethel
likes to
is
be on
her dog.
FaceTime sometimes.
This is Ethel.
There you go, baby. Camera time.
There it is.
Hello, world. Ethel
She's
May
not
Robinson
sure what
here.
to do.
There you go.
There's.
Hi.
Okay, bye now. I'm gonna have some real talk right now. When I tell you I am on the brink of tears at the moment, I am not lying. It is 6 o'clock, I think, or very close to it. I didn't get to leave work till 5:30 because there's 2 dogs running. I had one meeting after school that I forgot about, but then when I was going to that meeting, I forgot that I had an even more important meeting after that, which was contract negotiations. That took a while. We didn't finish until about 5:30ish, and then I come home to find out I can't really park in front of my house because they've sealed the streets. I don't know. Long story short, I can't park in my garage and I'm like walking in the neighborhood and I don't have food prepared and I don't think I can order food because of the whole situation. My neighbors are watching me. Hold on. I am now in my house now. It is 6:16. I just took some footage when I first got home of me walking from my car to my front door, but I don't know how good the quality is. Like, I don't know if you'll be able to hear me because I was outside and I wasn't talking super loud. But long story short, today has been a day. I feel like that's what I say every day. Like, I can't even tell you how exhausted I was by 2:30 when school was dismissed. And then after school, I saw that we had a town hall meeting, which is voluntary and it always focuses on cultural proficiency on our campus, so I always go to those meetings. And then as I was sitting in that meeting, I got a text message from one of the other people in the negotiations team that was like talking about what's the code for the Google Meet for us to hop on at 3, and realized I had totally forgot about that meeting. And had she not sent that text, I would have missed negotiations today because that's how much stuff I have going on in my mind. So we did all that. The district presented their most recent proposal, and then we as a negotiations team have to meet afterwards to kind of debrief, talk about what we feel, what we like, what we don't like, or whatever the case may be. That took a long time, and so by the time I got home, it was close to 6. And I could not get into my complex because they repaved the street, I guess is what you would call it, which I knew they were going to do, but I did not realize that meant that I would not be able to park my car anywhere except for a very defined space in this complex, which means everybody that lives here is battling for a very small amount of parking spaces, or you're parking on the street, which is a trek for me, which I also don't like. And when I tell you, I almost cried. I think I said that already. I almost cried. And then luckily I saw someone coming out of a parking spot, and then I promptly grabbed that parking spot, and then I walked home. But then I realized you got to go back to your car and get the garage door opener out of your car because that's also a safety issue. And then I almost started crying again because I was like, you don't have time to cook because you had 2 meetings after school and you forgot about those 2 meetings and you were going to cook all your green chef meals today, but now you can't because it's 6 o'clock, and what are you going to eat for dinner? But you can't DoorDash dinner because the DoorDasher can't get in the complex because it's blocked off. And so I was able to calm myself down and realize I do have some leftovers from my last shipment of Green Chef, which means tomorrow I'll probably have to eat emergency lean cuisine that's in the freezer. And we're just gonna have to make do with what is in the house. And by the time I got to that realization, my anxiety levels were on 10. And that's where you find me now, eating a snack. But I'm going to turn that day around, and I'm gonna turn all that upside down, because what I really wanted to do today, and this vlog is going to be a little bit different. I think this is really only going to capture a couple of days before I upload it. I might do the other or the rest of the week later. It just depends on how the week goes, because it is going to be a busy one. I need to upload this vlog ASAP because my big intention of the day was to show you my newest Ana Luisa pieces that I have received and that I am wearing today. So if you don't know, I am one of their VIP partners, and quite frequently I share their pieces with you that I've gotten over the past couple of years. So these are my new pieces today. Let's see if I can get in here without putting you all up in my face. But these are some little teeny tiny earrings that have like diamond accent. And then I'm wearing this necklace here. This is probably one of my new favorites because it's reversible. So it's like you're getting two necklaces in one. So you can see it's gold there, but if you wear it this way, it's black, which I really like because this goes with one of the rings that I have from them. And then I'm wearing this ring here, and this is pretty old. And so I wanted to share that with you because they're also having a Valentine's Day sale right now, and I wanted to make sure I gave you guys plenty of time to check out their site, maybe make a purchase for yourself or someone else. It is buy one get one 40% off, and you know me being the strong single independent woman I like to think myself to be, I would get myself something for Valentine's Day, and I have done that in the past. And so if you're looking to buy something for yourself, you don't need to have a Valentine or significant other to purchase for. If you want something nice, you should get something for yourself because this is the perfect time to do it. And so as always, I really like the quality of Ana Luisa. I like the price points. You can spend a little bit, you can spend a little bit more, and no matter what you're spending, you do feel like you're getting some quality pieces that you feel and know are gonna last you a good while. I've had some pieces now for a couple of years. They've not tarnished, they've not turned, and they're environmentally friendly. So they only make their jewelry in small batches so that they don't have a lot of excess, and that ends up being waste. And that's something that I also appreciate as well. So I showed you what I'm wearing today, and I figured since it's been a while, I will show you the other pieces that I have. These are not all of them. These are just ones that I keep in this little case here. Typically my earrings and my rings. My necklaces I keep in the little pouches that they provide. Let me show you one, because I don't like them to get all tangled as far as the necklaces are concerned. So all my necklaces I'll keep in here, and when I want to wear them, I'll pull them out. And so I'm not going to show you all those because it would be a long video because I have quite a few. But these are some of my favorite earrings here. These hoop earrings, I absolutely positively love these. I like the size, I like the thickness of them. I like the fact that I can wear these with jeans or wear them with more worky type clothes, and they go with each. And then I also like wearing that with this ring. This is one of my favorites as well, one of my more recent pieces. This is another ring from Ana Luisa. I like it because it's just unique. I wore that I think a couple of times last week. Here's another ring that I have. This one right here, and you can see I haven't done this, but you can even stack some of these pieces just to give it a different look. And then these are my very first pair of earrings, or first thing I ever got from them, which are these blue and white dangling earrings. And I almost thought about wearing these today because they go with my pants. Here's another ring. My partner teacher Taylor calls these croissant rings, which I think is kind of funny, but they do look like little croissants. Some more earrings here. So you can see, like, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but these are not like some cheapy little earrings that you're gonna get like at a, you know, Forever 21 or Old Navy. Not that there's nothing wrong with that, but those earrings will only last so long, and the quality, like, and the weight is not there, and you can feel that. I also have these hoops here that I wear, and these little hoops if I want to feel more delicate and more classy. These have little pearls at the end. And then I have these little disc type earrings here. Just like that. So yeah, if I feel like, there you go. If I like something and I really believe in something in terms of the quality and the price point of it, I will definitely share with you guys on my channel, which I have quite a bit with Ana Luisa. And so as I mentioned before, I was super excited to work with them, and I've been working with them for a couple of years. So again, they're currently having a buy one get one 40% off sale for Valentine's Day. It is the perfect opportunity to treat yourself. I'm all about treating yourself. Put you first sometimes. But if you want to get a gift for someone, that's also a great opportunity. Or you can do both. You can get yourself something and then get your special someone something, and it's a win-win situation. So they have necklaces, rings, earrings, they have some silver pieces, but I'm just always drawn to their gold pieces, and so that's really what I have purchased over the years. Oh, here's the ring I was telling you about that I could wear with this necklace when I flip it this way. See that? Do you see how they match really well? So aside from that, also, what do you guys think of my hair? I did it a little bit differently. I just twisted it in a different direction so that more came to the front. I think I really like it. It's a slight change, but it's a big change at the same time, like in terms of what it looks like. So let me know if you like this better. I feel like it looks fuller. There's something about it that I just feel like fits my face better. But yeah. I don't even want to talk about the day anymore as far as what happened at school. Nothing bad happened. I'm just too tired to really do justice to explaining what I did in class today. So I will definitely try and do that tomorrow. But again, it is February, 7th? And the month just gets more and more challenging by the day. So that's all I have to say to you guys today. I'm gonna shower, get my clothes for tomorrow ready, and eat whatever leftovers I have, and try and grade some essays, because now I'm on to grading essays. I finished grading stories and now it's time to grade essays. So I'll see you tomorrow. All right, good morning. It is about 6:45 Tuesday. I think I'm about to leave. I gotta do an outfit check here really quick to make sure this is what I wanna look like. I think so. But before I show you my outfit, I just want to show you my hair. I did an Insta story last night, and I can't remember if I mentioned it when I was vlogging last night. I was just not sure how to sleep with my hair, with the twist it forward, just to kind of maintain the shape that I had done yesterday. And I did the 2 little puffs, which is what I normally do, but then I also had like a little front unicorn puff just to kind of keep the front at the front, and that seems to have worked. And then, in case you're curious, I use all the products that I use to wash and condition my hair are from Pattern by Tracy Ellis. I've been using that for a year. And then when I take my hair down every morning, I'm using this little bottle of oil. It's jojoba oil, and then that's it. And then I just kind of have to like reshape it because I've slept on it and it's flat in places, and then I have to like fluff it back out. So here it is. I think it still looks good for day 2. If you want to see my outfit, I'll do this, a little throwback. I used to do this every single morning on YouTube. Now I just do it on Instagram, but I'm just wearing casual clothes today because I wanted to wear this Black History Month shirt that my mom got me. So she got me this t-shirt from Kohl's, and then I'm wearing these jeans that I think I got from Nordstrom Rack. They're page denim, and then I tried to dress it up a little bit with these little slide-on mules, and then I put a cardigan on. So my mom said she got me this shirt. She got my sister the same one, but she said this shirt reminds her of me. And then my accessories, I'm wearing a different Ana Luisa necklace today. This is the one that is has the Aries on it. And then I'm wearing this ring that I showed you, I think, last night. And that is that. I'm about to head off to work. I'm gonna go downstairs, make some iced coffee today because it's been warmer. And then I'm gonna go to work and try and maintain anxiety and stress levels. So I will probably see you the next time. It will be in my classroom, so I'll see you then. right, it's 8:30. I'm at school, obviously. I'm on my prep period, and I'm gonna try and show you what I thought I was going to show you for the past couple of days so you can kind of see where we're at. Mostly with language arts, a little bit of history. So we entered Unit 2 of Study Sync, which focuses on World War II. And so I wanted to make sure that they had enough information going into Unit 2 to even understand some of the things that were going on during World War II. The one thing that I don't love about Study Sync is I just don't think that they provide enough like background information for some of the selections, especially in Unit 2. Like the first passage is a speech by Winston Churchill, Blood, Toil, Tears, and Sweat. And I feel like in order for them to really understand that speech and the tone of the speech, they need to know what was going on just before he gave that speech. So there's a lot of like background knowledge building. So what I did was, I didn't do this last year. I did it this year for the first time, and I like it because I think it kind of deepens the level of understanding for my students in terms of like how something like the Holocaust could happen and how people can just get to a place where they are just making atrocious decisions against humanity. And so I found this video on Khan Academy that talks about the concept of ethnocentrism and cultural relativism. It's not the most engaging video. Like the person that is speaking is not super engaging, and I warn the kids of that because I don't want them to think that I think that what I'm showing them is entertaining. But it was the most succinctly put video that I could find that defined those things. So the first thing we did is we watched the videos, and let me see if I can open up the slide presentation that I made. And I told them by the end of the video, they should be able to tell me in their own words what ethnocentrism is and what cultural relativism is. And I told them that the video will define both of those things, and it does so clearly in my opinion, and that he gives examples that are easy to understand. So I told him in this first slide that we need to build some background knowledge, and then that's when I told him we're going to watch this Khan Academy video on those two terms, and that this is what the goal was by the end of the video. And side note, what I really liked about this is I'm using those Greek and Latin roots packets that I give them every week, and this was just recently one of their prefixes. So a lot of them, if not all of them, knew what the prefix ethno meant, and that it had something to do with ethnicity and culture, which they know the definition of thanks to social studies, excuse me. So then I showed them the Khan Academy video, which is this video here. It's 8 minutes long, and it includes a transcript, and I'm just going to scroll forward so that you can kind of see. He gives examples of ethnocentrism by giving this example of like going to a friend's house and they're eating insects and you're judging that as wrong, but you're doing that based on your particular culture and positioning your culture as superior. And then towards the end, he talks about cultural relativism and kind of gives like the 3 different levels of it. And so at the end of the video, let me pause this. I discussed this with them, and I said, this is kind of, everyone does this. Everyone has in-groups, and everyone shows some level of favoritism to their in-group. That's just human nature. So I said, like your family's your in-group, your circle of friends are your in-group. And at this stage, you slightly favor them, but you're not necessarily doing anything negative to the group that is your quote-unquote out-group, people outside of that inner circle that you may have. And then this second level, out-group derogation, is you still favor your in-group, obviously, but maybe now you're doing some not so nice things to anyone that you perceive to be in the out-group. And he goes into more detail about that. And then the last one was group polarization, and this is the extreme version of in-group, out-group behavior. And at this point, you are doing cruel and nasty things to out-groups, especially when you feel threatened by them. And so they also had access to the transcript down there as well, which came in handy later. So I explained to them that I wanted them to be familiar with those two terms to help them really wrap their minds around the Holocaust, which was occurring during World War II, and how people could get to that place. And what I really liked about this is that for some people, just learning these terms also helped them to kind of look at things that they may be seeing in society where they feel like groups are being discriminated against or being treated a certain way. So we did that. They talked in their groups, and then I said, okay, now I'm going to show you a video about something called the Stanford Prison Experiment, which a lot of adults know about, but maybe less than what I think. I know about it because I was a psych major and it was something that we looked at. And so if you don't know, the Stanford Prison Experiment happened in the 70s, where this psychologist took a group of people that were not real prisoners, but he created this fake but realistic in some ways prison in a building at Stanford University. And he separated the groups into two. There were a group of people that were deemed to be the prison guards, and then there were a group of people that were deemed to be the prisoners. And the study was supposed to look at how people, what is human nature when given like a certain level of power, or when you're put in a subservient role. And so using that video, it was about 8 minutes long and I just found it on YouTube. I said, we're gonna try and identify some of those terms. And so they did this on Jamboard. If I were to do this again, I would probably make this more of like a group interactive discussion and less Jamboardy, if that makes sense. So the first slide of Jamboard asked them to identify, using a yellow Post-it note, using the Stanford Prison Experiment, who was the in group, who was the out group. Then the next Jamboard, using a green Post-it note, they worked as a group and decided whether or not there was favoritism shown in this experiment between the two groups and even amongst. Then they had to find an example of group degradation, and then I give them this so that they know if they go back to the video, which they had access to at this point in the videos where a definition is provided. And then they had to give an example of group polarization, and that's where they would get the definition at 7 minutes and 40 seconds. So that was what we did for the first couple of days to kind of get them ready, and then we stopped that and ended that yesterday. My battery is now dying, so I'm gonna pause here, and then later in the day I'll tell you what we are going to do today. Still haven't read anything in Unit 2, we're just getting ready, just building background. Time to charge my battery.
Yeah. So these are like rich people, and those are like the things, because that looks a lot more developed than that.
It's probably like all like the men are like walking on the
Which one is this? I still have that.
I think those are just animals running.
And the natives are.
Yeah, it's moving east from the east towards the west. Yeah, it's east to the west, yeah.
And natives are.
Natives.
Well, if according to the ritual, that's like some sort of ritual, I guess.
They don't look like they're moving though.
You guys can get up and go look at it.
Ooh.
So it's like there's no kids, I'm not saying, and it's not like they're bringing.
Okay, it is now 2:50. I have a union meeting at 3:15, so I'm gonna check in right now, and more than likely that will be the end of today and really the end of the vlog for this week. I think I'm gonna cut it short here because honestly guys, I'm just really stressed and not feeling like I have enough time to complete what I need to complete because I have some due dates coming up. I have 2 IEPs this week, and then I have a negotiations day tomorrow, and then my report cards and grades have to be finalized by next Tuesday. So cutting this week's vlog short and not having any more after today will allow me A, to get this to you in time for the Valentine's Day sale with Ana Luisa, and B, just make sure I have a weekend where I'm not trying to wash my hair, edit some video, and finalize my grades. But earlier today, the camera cut off as I was finishing up talking about what we've been doing in language arts. The past few days has just really been all about building background to get them ready for Unit 2 in Study Sync, which focuses on World War II and inherently spends a lot of time talking about issues and stories and passages surrounding the Holocaust. So yesterday we finished up where I taught them ethnocentrism and what that meant, and the phrase cultural relativism, and then I gave them a real world example to kind of identify different aspects of those terms using the Stanford Prison Experiment. I think that was the last thing I was saying, and then my camera died. As far as language arts today, we continued building background. I gave them some very brief pieces of information that helped them to understand what were the events historically that led up to World War II. So I told them that Germany, along with the other Axis countries, lost World War I, and that Germany was seen as to blame for the cause of World War I, and because of that, they had to sign this Treaty of Versailles where they had to pay, I think it was either millions or billions of dollars.
Attention, any students on campus. If you are on campus, please come to the front office. Eliza Guzman, come to the front office.
they had to pay reparations, and they had to keep a small military. And the combination of those things left Germany feeling like it wasn't in a position to be thriving as a nation, which then allows someone like Hitler to come in and convince people that there's problems in this country, but the problems that we're experiencing aren't necessarily because of us, and we need to find the source of these problems or the cause of these problems. And that's where I tied in cultural relativism, because they learned that in extreme versions of cultural relativism, the in-group or the group in power will start doing things that are overtly wrong, mean, nasty, whatever, to the out-group because they feel like their power is being threatened to some degree. So we talked about that. And then today I also showed them a short video clip on what life was like before the Holocaust, and said, you know, a lot of times we don't get to see that kind of footage because we only see like Jewish people living through and dying as a result of the Holocaust, but we don't get to see what their life was like before and see that they were in many ways thriving. And so I said, I'm gonna show you that so that you can understand that they did have life before that. And so I showed them that, and then I showed them a vocabulary video on the Holocaust that gives them a little bit more detail about like what Hitler was promoting, what kind of propaganda he was putting out there, and the realities of what happened during the Holocaust. So then we stopped there. And then with history, I don't remember, I think I mentioned this last week. I don't have the book with me. But starting today, the history lessons that I am doing are probably all primarily going to come from our new history textbook, because I'm piloting it. Well, no, let me take that back. I'm not piloting it. This is the book that we've adopted, and now we're given the opportunity to kind of test it out, and I'm taking that opportunity so I feel somewhat familiar next year when I'm using it. Now I'm going to show you this book, and at face value it looks like the driest, most boring textbook there is. I just really want to know who said yes. What 8th graders need to see on the cover of their textbook is a giant train wheel, and the book should be brown. That's going to make them want to crack this open. I don't know who did that, but that's neither here nor there. But supposedly there's some good engagement activities with this, and so I'm starting in this book. It's unit 15, but when they say unit, they mean chapter, and that focuses on manifest destiny. So today was just like a preview section. I really enjoyed it. I showed them, or displayed, the piece of art called American Progress, which is that classic manifest destiny piece of art. And in the preview section of this lesson, kids are supposed to just look at the art, talk about what they notice, and then there are 5 questions that they had to answer. So I told them we're going to treat this in the beginning like we're at an art museum, and when you go to an art museum, you just kind of take in the art, think about what you notice. So we spent a lot of time as a class really just marking up what we noticed. Both classes were very engaged and participated really well in that process. Partially, I think, because they got to use the interactive display, because you can draw on that screen. But even kids that don't normally participate were participating. So we spent a good amount of time doing that, and then I left all their markings up on the screen, and then I gave them about 15 minutes to work in their group answering these 5 questions that were posed by the textbook. The first question is, and let me see if I have the piece of art in case you don't know what I'm talking about. So we were looking at this. Something I feel like most people have seen this image. So they literally just talked us through as a class, and we noted everything that people noticed. And there were some things that they noticed that I had never seen before, because I wasn't just looking at it as intently as some of them were. So we did that together, and then as a group they answered these 5 questions based on that piece of art. 1, which groups in the painting are moving from east toward the west? What are they bringing with them? 2, what are some possible reasons these groups are moving west? 3, which groups were already in the west? What is happening to them? 4, who is the main figure in the center of the painting? What might she represent? And 5, John Gass painted American Progress in 1872. Do you think he believed that the U.S. expansion in the 1800s was justifiable? Why or why not? They did a good job discussing in their groups, and I feel like afterwards we had afterwards we had good discussion as a class. Like, it really felt like they were really pulling this piece of art apart and really looking at it intently, which is the goal of the lesson. And then we stopped there. Then I told them that they're going to be acting out different historical scenarios revolving around this particular period of time. So this textbook, at least with this lesson, has some acted out sessions where they're acting something out instead of just reading about it. So I let them pick their groups. there's 5 groups because there are 5 scenarios to be acted out. The groups have about 6 people in it. Some are a little bit smaller. And then I told them to pick a letter between A and E, and whatever letter they picked dictated what scenario they were gonna act out. My homeroom class seemed really excited about it because they're like a hyped class and they like doing things like that. A little hard to tell in my switch class. There was some controversy because they couldn't get their groups together. But that's what they're gonna be working on tomorrow, is scripting out their scenario, because their acted out page just gives them a narrated version of what they need to portray in their little skit, for lack of a better term. So all in all, I feel like I've gotten you all caught up. So I'm gonna stop talking now. I have about 15 minutes before this meeting, and then when that's over, I'm gonna wrap up the vlog for the day, and then I will see you next week, I think. It is 5:19. I am getting ready to go. The union meeting, I don't know, I feel like it ended like maybe 4:45, and then I had to just finish up my sub plans and make sure that was all laid out and ready to go. I believe I have done everything that I need. I have it all laid out, and I will show you what that looks like in just a second, because I was just thinking about it and kind of laughing to myself. Back in the day, back in my younger days, I would just be so consumed with making sure my sub plans were cute and looked a certain way. And while I value that and I love a good aesthetically pleasing anything, I just don't have time to make it cute. I needed to just be very clear and to the point, and that is what I do now. And it looks that way. Like, it would be cuter if I could print it in color, but I can't. So I'm gonna show it to you, and while I'm at it, I'm gonna also show you this bag, because I feel like I got a couple questions about this bag in the last vlog that it popped up in. This is what it looks like. I've had it for a couple years. It's from Kiwana. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I can get you the link if you need it. But this is what my sub plans look like now. And then just laid out here, like, this is prep. This is the book that they're gonna need, and that's it. I really wish I was one of those teachers that was even better and like provided a snack and water. And what is this piece of hair doing right here? I don't know, but I'm not. I wanna be, but I'm not. So I'm gonna gather my belongings. I'm gonna head out for the day. So again, this is all you're gonna see of me this week, at least in YouTube format. I might pop up on Instagram here and there, but I do have to get some things done. But primarily, I wanted to make sure I got this video up in time for you to hit up that Valentine's Day sale, like I said, with Ana Luisa. Again, it's buy one, get one 40% off. I love them. Have several pieces like I showed you yesterday. I feel like I wear at least one thing from them every single day, if not more. So check them out, especially if you're into environmentally friendly jewelry that is quality at varying price points. So I wanted to make sure I got that done, and then also just the reality is I don't really have time to vlog too much during this week, and I don't really have time to edit over the weekend. So I hope that you enjoyed this shorter version. I don't even know that I can call this a week in my life. I'm just gonna call it a couple of days in my life. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. If you're not following me on Instagram, head over there and follow me at Smarty Style. And you can also show me some support and love over on TikTok at Smarty Style as well. Other than that, I hope that you are well. And if you're not well, please be well. And I will see you guys in the next vlog.